That's a deep question. Um, I don't know. I think I really enjoy winning, and that's why I hate losing.
Bo, you just added more of the wide receiver room. What's that give you guys, or just talk about it? And I guess you were 2-0 against that Auburn, played Ole Miss. If you remind me of that.
I asked him, make sure to see which years he was there because we had some good battles with Ole Miss, but it adds some depth to our room. Obviously, he's been a really good player at places he's been, so it adds some depth for this run we're about to go on.
You're talking a lot about your playing the clutch here lately this whole season, really. Is that something, did you learn it? Is it something you had, you either have it or you don't?
I think a little bit of both. I think a little bit is the competitive spirit you're born with, but also just I've been through several situations having to be down at the end of the game. I've won some, I've lost some, and this year we just happened to win them more than we've lost. So I think it's something that you can sort of build on over time. You learn how to not lose, you learn how to not beat yourself, and you just learn a little bit of how to control the controllables and control the jitters when you get down at the end of the game. And, I would say my first few times in high school when you have to go on a 2-minute drill and you haven't really been comfortable with a 2-minute drill before, you've never really done it, you don't really know what you're doing, that can be a little bit more nerve-wracking than now. It's where you've done it so many times. And I've been in both winning situations and losing situations in that, situation in the final few minutes of a game. So now it's just another drive, and you know what they're going to do, and you just got to go out there and find a way to score. So it's just a belief, I think, that you've done it before and you're going to be able to do it again.
But there's a lot of talk in the NFL these past couple of days about quarterbacks trying to make plays with their feet versus keeping themselves healthy. How do you balance that? And was there a time that you learned, or you just feel like you're still learning that right now?
It's tough on a defense when you move around with your feet, so that's probably a lot of the reason why we do it. But at the same time, it's just how we've grown and developed into the players we are. We've seen it so much, and then we just did it at a young age, and that's just how we've created habits. But for me, it's all about manipulating defenses, getting them out of spots. Sometimes they cover it, they do a good job, but they may not have a guy for you. And over the course of football, over time, it's been so much in the pocket, and so once you hear coverage sacks and all that kind of stuff, well, sometimes that's just because you sat there too long and you didn't escape. But it's a physical sport. A lot of guys get banged up, and I have before. I probably will, unfortunately, again before my time's over with. But you can't. You definitely cannot play with the fear of getting injured. You just got to put yourself out there, put your body on the line for the team, and just go out there and compete and find ways to win.
But when you escape, when you feel pressure, when you choose to kind of break a play down, what do you look for from receivers? And do you have those conversations with these guys in this room of, this is where I want you to be, this is how important kind of spacing is? Just let that concept play out.
Well, everyone's different, so every play is different. Guys are in different spots, and usually they'll tell you if you're deep, come back short. If you're short, turn it up and go deep. If you're in the middle, find a lane for the quarterback. And great examples the other day, Pat Bryant was deep on a vertical. He turned back around, came down the numbers, got a pass for about 12 yards. That was a first down. That was a good explosive play. And then Cortland, he didn't really have to move on our touchdown pass. He just stayed on his route and just moved with me. And sometimes it works that way too. It's all about feel, and they use the term backyard ball for a reason because that's legitimately kind of what it is. It's like when you're playing in the backyard as a kid and you run around and they got somebody on the team that's or somebody on the other side who's trying to two-hand tag you, and you got to avoid them, and the receivers just run around and try to get open.
So you guys have caught the longest road winning streak this team has had in a decade. What have been the keys to winning some of these games on the road, and what's it like to go into another stadium and get a win?
Great defensive play, and finding ways at the end of the game to. There's always going to be a critical drive where you got to go score points. I feel like we've done a really good job in those critical moments, finding ways to score points. May not have looked pretty throughout the game, may have found some things that didn't work, but when we needed it, we went to the things that we liked and we got the job done. So it's all about defensive play, stopping them when you need to stop, and then you got to score when you need to score.
Sean talked
Thank goodness for me. I feel like all my head coaches have been pretty detail oriented. That's why they've gotten where they were. Coach is very detailed, very specific in what he wants, and so it honestly makes it a little bit easier playing for him because you know what he wants. He's going to explain it to you, and then as a player, you just got to do what he's asking of you. And if you mess up, you're just going to run it again, and nothing to it. Just do it again, fill it out, and make sure you get it right, and then we'll move on to the next one. So it's a really important thing, I think, for the details to be important. And if the details are important, no matter big or small, you're going to have a good detailed team.
Sean, we talked a lot today too, just about concept of fear of failure and fear of that, getting to lose, what have you. I know you've talked about it plenty with us. Do you sense kind of that commonality or kinship there a little bit, just even behind the scenes meeting or just what have you when you're approaching the same thing?
I think what I've learned with him is he probably is one of those guys that hates losing more than he likes winning. So I think that's more the common theme that we have. We're very competitive. We don't like losing, and we're going to do everything we can to win. And because of that, you're going to get that competitiveness, you're going to get that drive, you're going to get the details, you're going to get the little things, all to not, avoid the loss and, pick up a win no matter what it looks like.
Well, we've seen Cap become kind of a weapon with the slant. In your career, what are sort of the common traits of guys that can do that real well? What do they sort of possess?
Well, he does a good job of running through the football without losing speed or getting off the ground. It's very natural for him. He just runs right through it. Sometimes it's funny because as a quarterback, you want to have a firm throw. You want to throw it hard, and if a guy runs through it, you're kind of like, man, I must not be throwing it very hard to you if you're just going to catch it like that. But for a guy like that, very smooth. He just sees the ball well. He plucks it out of the air. He uses his hands. The other day he let one get in his body and it got broken up, but then he gets another chance and he runs through it and he makes an explosive. So he's going to know the right from wrong, and I'm not worried about him. But that's just the difference when you see him pluck it, how good he is and how good of a snatcher he is. And then him catching it without leaving the ground is able to, he hits the corner and he just turns upfield and gets explosive plays out of that. So he's going to continue to do that for us. He's a very good route runner in all aspects of the route tree. And he's good after the catch, but, he's a great blocker as well. So he's an every down receiver, just, getting better and better each and every week. It's fun to see.
Time for a few more for Bo. So you referenced the run you're about to go on. How much during this do you pay attention to what's going on around the league, other teams' records, where you're seeding, all that?
And only one time I pay attention is when other people tell me or if, we talk about it amongst the team or if I hear it from one of you guys. But I'm not – it honestly doesn't really matter because we're in a great spot ourselves. So if we just keep winning football games, we're going to be just fine.
Well, all three phases, offense, defense, special teams have won games in the final moments this year. What kind of confidence does that give when you're on the sideline, whatever phase is on the field that you guys can pull out?
It's why we're winning games. It's, no matter who is out there, you feel confident they can win the game. It's not like you feel like, man, if offense goes out there, we're going to have to go back on defense. Or if defense goes out there, we're going to give up touchdowns. It's there's really none of that. We just kind of feel like, okay, we've given up some in the past, but let's go out there and let's either score, let's stop them, or let's make an explosive play on special teams and pin them inside, or let's get a good return. Whichever one it is, we all feel like we're going to do it. And it's actually a very good feeling because it's something that you just kind of – you don't really think about it anymore. You're just like, well, at some point, whether the 2-minute drive for them or the overtime drive, you knew they were going to keep them to less points than what we had, and we were just going to win the game. Now, we didn't know how it was going to look, but, everybody else probably thought that 2-point conversion was going to go their way, but somehow on our sideline we just knew somebody was going to make a play, and Nick made a play there.
Last one, Eric. When you're 10-2, obviously still a lot more things to do, but do you appreciate being in this moment of kind of what you guys have ahead of you? Portland obviously has been here for some tough years. He was talking about what it's like going to work every day, but just what sort of opportunity is this for you, and can you appreciate that in the moment?
Absolutely. I think the worst thing you can do is let other people tear down a 10-2 record, whether saying you don't play anybody or you're just relying on defense or whatever negative somebody's going to put on a positive. It's always going to happen. And we don't really worry about it. We're just excited. We know we've come a long way. This franchise and organization has had some great years, and then went into a little lull there for a minute. But then it just takes a couple guys. We get it back on track, and all of a sudden we're 10-2, and right where we want to be in every aspect of our season. And everybody can talk about a 10-2 record and make excuses of why we have it, but you still have to win games. You're still playing NFL teams who pay their players just as much as we are paid. So I think it's important to not lose track of that, and it's a good perspective to have that no matter what's going on, you've worked hard and you've got yourself to a 10-2 record, and we believe we could have been even better. And so it's all about moving forward. It's the next mentality, next game. And, we got an important one this week, divisional game on the road. Those are always important to go out there and get. They're a tough team. They're a hungry team. They have veteran players who are going to play really hard. And I think at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving on. But at the same time, don't forget, how far you've come and where you are as a team. And it does make coming to work a little bit more exciting. It does make, finishing out this season gives you something to look forward to and play for. And there's a lot of good that comes from looking forward to something and playing for something. Don't know why that is, but it's just something about the locker room that makes it, exciting, and the guys who want to do it for other people. So that's the important thing, and we're in a great spot, and 10-2 is hard to do. Like I said the other day, we won 10 games last year at the end, and we're not at the end yet, and we've already won 10. So that's an improvement, but we didn't, work this hard to just win 10.